Okay, folks, we get started with the next presentation. I'd like to welcome our next presenter here, Andrew Erickson, who is the Director of Marketing with DPS Telecom. Please have a welcome.
Director of Marketing. But I have some better news for you. So I am Andrew. I run DPS Telecom Marketing. One thing I tell our new employees is, and it takes them a while to understand, we have a lot of interesting clients who use our remote monitoring product in a lot of interesting ways. So what we do sometimes is bring people into conferences like this to share their experience. So I'm mostly just going to be a moderator here. I'm going to be talking to, I guess I brought in this is Rob Little from Interbel Telephone, Telecommunication Manager. So please do welcome Rob.
Hello.
And so we're going to walk through Rob's scenario, how he uses remote monitoring, some of his tips. We're going to pause in the middle then for some Q&A with him, and if we have time available, I have some additional tips and guidance for you, but I'm going to focus primarily on what Rob has to say. So let's get going. Me? Rob? Yeah, go ahead, Rob. Where are you from?
I'm work with Interbel Telephone. We're a small rural cooperative telephone company in Eureka, Montana. And Eureka, Montana, as you can see there, is in the far northwest corner of Montana. We're about 40 air miles from Glacier National Park, set up against the U.S.-Canadian border there. So we have 3,500 access lines in our exchange. Roughly covers about, we have about 1,400 miles of cable, copper and fiber optic cable in the ground right now. We're in the process of building our entire exchange out to fiber to the home. The exchange covers roughly 1,600 square miles of the northwest corner of Montana. We have 28 remote sites that we have fiber transport to, and out of those 28 remote sites, we put our, it's where we're building out fiber to the home. Currently out of those remote sites, about 30% of them are copper, 70% are fiber. So that's where we actually access the customers each one of those remote sites. From those remote sites, we have dual link fibers coming back. Redundancy, two separate cables, so that each one of our remote sites, in case the fiber gets dug up, whatever, we have a redundant link going. And our exchange just has one central office, and the central offices are where our telephone switch and all of our backbone comes in to our central office. We used to have 3 fiber rings that all came together in our central office. We moved away from that architecture. We had problems. We're kind of on the bleeding edge of, we're the first phone company in Montana to go with a pure Ethernet IP voice and data network. This was back in 2006. And this was our architecture when we were analog and PDM technology. When we went to Ethernet, because we were so new, we were on the bleeding edge of it, we were so new with it, that we were having problems with those rings dropping like dominoes. All the sites in those remote rings were dropping like dominoes, so we had to do something. And we had ended up getting enough fiber in the ground that we went to dual link fibers to those 28 remotes. Our customer density is about 1.5 customers per mile. So gives you an idea how remote we are, and have very long drives. We have a place that we meet up with what people would call the real world out at Wolf Prairie, which is 50 miles away. And Wolf Prairie is like in the middle of nowhere. Very hard to access during the winter. In fact, one winter, in 2006, we had some real bad weather. We had 3 or 4 days of wet snow, and then a thawing period, and then it got real cold. Built up ice on a bunch bunch of towers that we had fiber on. And the ice unloaded and took and cut the fiber. It was Bonneville Power's, a piece of Bonneville Power's fiber that we rented from them. And it cut that fiber right in half when that unloaded. Well, Bonneville, that dispatched somebody to go splice that fiber. During the process of trying to get the fiber spliced, the guy fell off one of his towers, got hurt. So needless to say, we were down for 3 days by the time we got it fixed, which is the longest outage Interbel's ever had. Usually our outages at the most are just a couple hours. So we scrambled and figured out what we had to do to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So we actually built redundant routes, one to Wolf Prairie and one out another way out to the world, so that it would never happen again. You know, that our areas on our Blackview, mobile tower, we have to use snow machines. When we get storms, we have to use snow machines to get down to Wolf Prairie. So it just gives you an idea how remote we are and how important it is for us to be able to see our entire network, what's going on in it. We went, when we made that switch from a 5E class 5 switch over to a meta switch soft switch, it's the same time that we started building that Ethernet access network out. What we lost when we went from the 5E to the meta, the 5E had a way to monitor those sites. It wasn't a real great way to monitor, but we could at least monitor all of our remote sites. And when we went to the meta switch, we lost all that capability. So we had to come up with a solution on how we're going to see all of our alarms, which are thousands of alarms in our system, bring them into one place so that our techs can see them and see what, and just get an overview of what's going on in our network. So this is kind of how we ended up building it out. That zone access equipment, that's the IP Ethernet access network that we built. The cloud there, the LAN, that's a very complicated place in our network. We have a Cyan Z77 aggregation and transport switch along with a big Cisco router in that LAN. And also, we tie all that, so all of that Interbel central office would be our meta switch. All of that is tied together and gets sent up to the TMON. Now we do have net guardians out in our network to monitor discrete environmental alarms like open door, temperature, AC fail, stuff like that. And then we'll bring that all up to the TMON, and so all of our techs can have access to visibility into our entire network from one place. All of our equipment puts out alarms, but it just needed to aggregate all those alarms into one spot, and that spot is the TMON. What do we monitor? On discrete alarms, we monitor temperature, humidity, smoke, open door, AC fail, all the fuses in all the systems. Via SNMP, we monitor all of our Cisco devices, our switches, our zone access equipment, and meta switch. As far as our zone access equipment, we literally monitor every customer that we have in our network. We have what they call a network interface device at everybody's home, and we put fiber to it. That network interface device has to be powered, and it has to be powered by AC because you can't line power fiber optics. So in order to power it by AC and still have that ONT backed up, we have to put a UPS in there. And not only do we monitor each one of those NIDs, but we also monitor the batteries that supply power to those NIDs, so we can keep the customer's premise up all the time, because it's very important that the customer has access to 911. And in the event of an emergency, power outage or whatever, that's when they need access to 911. So we have thousands of alarms that we monitor in our system. The 7 keys to good monitoring. First off, it had to be compatible with all of our equipment. We do a lot of SNMP alarms. generators. Some of our remote sites, well, all of them have the ability to be generator backed up, but our very important sites like the border, and that we all have generators all the time online. Building access control, that's got our environmental norms, of course, open door, who's entering the building, what's the temperature in that building, do we have a fire in that building, all that stuff we monitor. Ping alarms, keep alive, is our equipment alive, that's what we basically use ping alarms for. Is that IT network still alive, is our Cisco router working, are all our Ethernet switches working. So the T-Mon's constantly sending out pings to all of our equipment. It's online. U.S. manufacturer, yes, very important. We're rural telco. We're under the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the RUS, and in order for us to get funding, all of our equipment has to be U.S. manufactured. And I'm proud that all of our equipment is U.S. manufactured. It seems to all be very reliable. Tech support. I can't tell you how important that is for Interbel. All my technicians, they're responsible for so much equipment that they can't be specialized in any one piece of equipment. So at Interbel, when we go shopping for equipment, we always look for good tech support. Somebody that if we're stuck, if my techs are stuck, they can call and get fast response. Free training, yeah, DPS is great on that. I get a call about once every 2 or 3 weeks. They're asking me who am I going to send to training, and consequently, all of my techs, myself, and just about everybody at Interbel is responsible to monitor alarms and train free by DPS. And their training facility is very, very friendly, very informative. They cover their equipment very well.
Something on number 2, you were talking about generator monitoring, and I think you do a technique that avoids having to have a physical sensor out there. Can you describe that a little bit?
Well, the generator runtime, we actually tie our generators, and might not be the answer you're looking for. Our generator runtimes are actually, they are monitored directly into the T-Mon via SNMP. That's what they are. We have some pretty big generators, and we need to know when they start, when they stop, how many hours have been put on that generator. And we also need to know, and what we don't do is what we're in the process of doing with DPS is we're going to be putting fuel, how full our propane tanks are. We need to monitor that, and that's something we haven't been doing. We've been driving out to all the sites about 3 times a year and manually check. But a thing like a site as remote as Wolf Prairie, that generator out there may run for 2 or 3 days before they get the power up. And might not be able to get a guy out there to monitor our propane fuel systems.
Yeah, so for those of you who have fuel tanks that make either diesel or propane, you can do a sensor. Clearly that's probably the best, most accurate option, but also kind of an expensive thing to do if you have a software feature on remote monitoring devices to just accumulate the runtime. So you know that it's been running for this long. The last time we filled it up was 10 hours of runtime ago. You can make some pretty good estimates about the kind of fuel that you have remaining. There's a way to do it if you don't have the time immediately to go get that sensor out there and have that at defense. Accumulators are a nice software-based solution for that.
Yeah, another thing that's very important is that we have a history of alarms too. Not only real-time alarms, but a history of alarms. And the T-Mon does that very well as far as getting back at your history of alarms. What happened when you were gone, or what happened last night when something went down.
Do you just check the history, or do you run some reports? I mean, what are your methods for looking at history?
Well, usually our methods for looking at history are when there's a known problem. Well, first off, the CO Tech every morning when he comes in looks through the last night's history to see what's happened in our network, and then if there's anything, any alarms that came in, he checks and makes sure that everything's running okay, why the alarm came in. And so on a daily basis, we use the history. Then if a customer, on some stuff, if a customer calls in and complains that such and such a date, they weren't able to get on the internet or whatever, we can go back on the history and see, well, was the ZNet down that day, or what happened, was power out, and therefore bad battery, and the ZNet went down. So that's the way we use our histories.
We have about 12 minutes remaining in our half-hour slot here, so I want to make sure we have time for all the questions. So I want to start a little early on Q&A. I have a few more things to cover if we run out of questions. So does anybody have a question for Rob?
We exercise our generators once a week. What's that?
Is it on all schedule?
Yeah, it's scheduled. We have it automatically set. It's actually every Tuesday at 10 o'clock on one generator, and Monday at 9 o'clock on our warehouse crew generator. They exercise, make sure that they're up. And what's nice is we've caught problems because of that. They'll exercise, they won't fire up for some reason, and we can get the generator mechanic in and find out what the deal is. It's saved us quite a few times.
Your backup batteries sufficient on generators?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, actually, our generators charge batteries. It's more than what they give us AC power. They charge batteries for our rectifiers. So most of our systems run off of 48 volts DC.
You have a schedule replacement of those generators not running after
Yes, but I mean, it's years. The generators are propane, big generators, and we do a regular maintenance on them all the time. So, our maintenance schedules twice a year. We'll bring in the manufacturer of those generators. Twice a year, we'll bring them in, and they go completely through those generators.
What kind do you use?
ONAN?
Oh,
Yeah.
Any more questions for Rob?
You mentioned your roller monitors and Cisco equipment. Can you just say what type of equipment it is and what you use for?
Well, we remotely monitor the SR1006. Okay, that is our edge router. It's what it is, and that's used to actually route all of our traffic, our voice, video traffic inside of our network, and also to route our internet traffic on outside the network. And we also have some Cisco switches.
So they all the central office, and that's just the customers get a small customer over there.
Yeah, it's mainly right at the central office, those Ethernet switches inside what we call our core network. We do have some Ethernet switches out of our remote sites. Just very small Cisco switches out there where we get ESL.
And there's DPS ground SNP from Cisco and put it in the DPS for using
Yes,
services.
yes. That's, in fact, our zone equipment does SNMP, and then we have a zone management system that does SNMP, and out of that zone management system, it sends all those SNMP traps up to the TMON, and that's how we identify all that.
If you do have an SNMP manager you currently use and prefer in all of remotes, we'll put at SNMP, so you don't need a team on the top if you already have a manager you like.
Our course Cyan Z77 switch, it does SNMP on it.
So once an event happens or triggers something, are you notified immediately, or do you have to visit, or you have to go back and look at the historical?
No, there's lots of ways that the TMON can notify you.
Okay.
Via email, they can call you.
Text you.
Yeah, text you. It has a web interface, so all my techs have it on their phone, on their mobile phones, as well as on their laptops. We have three main offices. My office, the ISP, the internet office, our central office, all have monitoring screens connected to the team.
Text.
things to describe, and Rob can probably offer some insights as I go through these. Actually, I don't know if anybody saw our President Marshall speak last year. Do it? I assume as much, but last year at the same event, he spoke about what we call the solution stack hack and how to avoid that. So one of the things that we do at DPS is keep our engineers in-house. We try to do everything, but what that really allows us to do is build you something that suits a specific need. And the number one, the warning is just about don't underestimate if you try to piece something together yourself. And I like to do it a lot for hobby projects. I get this on Amazon, I get this here, I get this switch. Well, at that point, you're playing your own documentarian. You got to build your own manuals internally, and you have to do your own tech support because no, you can't call anybody. And I plug this device into someone else's device. Way too much finger pointing can go on there. So we advise against that. If you can build a holistic system, in order from somebody where you're getting support, we recommend that. So I suppose that is also number two, bring it all in one system. Don't start boring things together. So if you have an RTU where it just doesn't have enough inputs, one thing you can do is hook a couple alarm contact closures into one input, but now they're ordered together. So when you know that at least one of them is on, but you don't know which one. And so you start to lose granularity. Clearly, we view remote monitoring as a very important thing. When you protect yourself from one incident, you pay for a lot of monitoring here. So don't skim on capacity. Make sure you can monitor each thing with good granularity. But at the same time, don't do too much. Don't go buying some giant system. Don't overestimate your growth. Allow some percentage for likely future expansion, but don't go over. You can always add a little more later as a second device. Or one thing that's really common, at least with our clients, is you can take a new device that's bigger, put that at the site that's grown, and then you free up this medium or small device. Maybe you can go out to some other locations. So you can kind of leapfrog around with your gear.
And keep it simple.
Yeah, also, don't be too specific. We usually advise, I think you just have the 3 Guardian right?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you do have different size sites, maybe standardize on, okay, we've got a small one and we have a big one, and we choose one of those 2 based on the site size. Don't go overboard with a bunch of different models, because your technicians would have to be trained on that. They've got to be able to understand so many different devices. Pick a few and standardize on those for yourself. We also say don't use a discrete when an analog's clear. If you have a thermostat style temperature sensor, you can set it to whatever temperature you want. I want to know when we exceed 85 degrees, whatever your setting is. You know you're over 85, but you don't know if you're 86, 186, 90 something. You don't know. You know it's clicked over, and that's all. So analogs are much better for that, because they'll tell you within about a degree, this is your temperature. So it's generally advisable. User access rights and logging. Rob, do you want to describe, do you do any users who have limited rights, maybe monitor only type techs?
Most of our techs have all been trained. So, excuse me. So they actually, most of our operators have administrative rights.
But as you have a bigger and bigger organization, it can become important to lock people out of certain things so they don't cause damage, destroy some config. You end up building up a nice big database of alarms. You don't want somebody to disrupt that, so you need to back it up, and you need to make sure that only people can access it if they need to. As far as customization goes, don't go so overboard with customization that you have somebody building you something completely from scratch, and you want it to be based on something, that you're able to point to some kind of a platform, but you want to be able to tweak that last 10%. Oh, I need this one new thing. We've added T1 onto an RTU at times, so that way I need an SFP fiber interface. Those kinds of things, okay, we'll add that onto an existing platform, but you shouldn't be getting it all from scratch, because the chance that all goes right is pretty slim. If you are choosing between a couple manufacturers, it's certainly not the most important thing, but as a tiebreak, I would say, look for breadth. Look for, okay, they have a lot of different capacities, because in the future, if I'm using this system, I can choose from different capacities. If you standardize somebody using one remote, it may not be the best fit for all your sites. I think Rob spoke about tech support. Call them before you buy. That's kind of a classic anecdote, but it can be a good thing to do. Just follow up, see if they will talk to you. I know sometimes we get in on calls with some college students. They're writing an SMP term paper. You wouldn't believe the kinds of things we're doing on our line. But we try to be helpful. We spend a few minutes, even if it is a student. Just why not be helpful to people who need it? And along the same lines, if you're calling sales and they don't really know a whole lot, and you want something, probably not the best idea. They should have some expertise. We can't really hire traditional salespeople, as far as I can tell. We just
devices, make sure they're secure in your network. There's one mistake we made. We didn't get hacked because of it, but we could have. So we had to go back to DPS and talk about some security issues which they fixed for us. And that was a big deal.
Was that ACTPS or the SMPP3 or was that?
Well, it was just the way we had our interfaces set up out there. What it was we weren't doing our due diligence as far as those interfaces being in private network and our out-facing internet, which is on the public network, and do our due diligence as far as getting the holes out, username, passwords, stuff like that. We ended up actually finding that we had the default DPS password, username and password, on our out interface network, and we were just lucky nobody got into it, because once you get into this, then they can actually get into your network, because this is in your product. This stuff is private. We use it public facing because we have it under team on with a company that does our after hours monitoring. So our team on connects directly with theirs. So they can get into this and get into your network. So just make sure it's secure. It's something that we need to do a better job. Of course, and DPS helps it.
I see some people arriving for the next session, I believe. Any final questions for Rob before we wrap?